Anyone have any questions? This is the awkward bit.
Okay, I have one.
Yeah?
How long did it take you to write the entire book? What would you say?
I think if we ignored all the gaps in between, it'd probably be close to a year to compressing it all in one place, researching how the hell to publish it, designing the cover, sorting out the cover, condensing them down, adding a few in. I'd say a year, but actually some of these poems are from years ago, on scraps of paper, vignettes and things, where I'm one of those people that always has a notebook wherever I go, because every now and then someone will say something and I'm like, oh, quite like that, write it down, or something will happen and I'm very yogi in that I journal, I talk about how I feel in a book, but it helps people, it helps and get it out on paper. And then I kind of looked through some of my old journals and decided what was good, what was relatable, I guess, and then made that into poetry. So I'd say a year, but some of the stuff is from way back.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you sound like some of it was really almost therapeutic to write about, but were there any that you just wrote and really enjoyed writing for the love of writing rather than for the self kind of healing aspect?
Yeah.
Or was it all something?
I guess it's all healing in its own way, but
Sorry, I was
no, it's fine. I'd say a lot of the shorter ones, some of them are just me being a bit indulgent with words. So I love Instagram, if anyone doesn't know. Love taking pictures, love making things look pretty, I love capturing moments. And some of the poems were literally just about a photograph. And so I guess those are the ones that were just for fun. Just probably started out as an Instagram caption and I was actually, I'm going to keep that one back, put that in the book. So a lot of the shorter ones I'd say, and more of the light-hearted ones are probably about just to uplift people, which is what I love to do, to make people feel good. So yeah. Any questions?
How did you go about regarding the publishing? How did you find a publisher? How did you choose a publisher?
So actually...
Do you need a publisher? How do you...
No, I'm self-published. This is all me. And the person I can actually thank for it is in this room. It's the amazing Sophie, who is also self-published. And you need to read her book because it's incredible. It's lost and found, isn't it? You can also find it on Amazon. Incredible writer, incredible human. And I thought she's actually one of the people that gave me the inspiration to write the book and to go about it because she had the courage to do it herself. And I think when you see ordinary people do amazing things, that's where the real magic is. And so this is all done through an amazing website called Kindle Direct Publishing. The amazing thing about it is because I wanted to produce something that was good, but I didn't have the funds to do that. And so you're not out of pocket before you start, because basically if you were doing this all off your own back, you'd have to, I designed the cover, I drew a draft of the cover, sent it to my friend Sophia, who I met. Basically, I met her, it's a really weird story, but I met her friend Sasha travelling a few years ago. And Sophia was also going through really bad mental health issues at the time. And Sasha was like, I feel like she needs your help. Would you be happy to help her? And we ended up becoming really good friends and stayed in contact. They're actually in America. Sasha's just got married. It's madness. And we became incredible friends. And she's a graphic designer. And when I had the idea of the book, her Instagram pops up all the time. I talk to her all the time. And basically so I sent her a sketch, which is roughly pretty much this, but just not as bougie and cool. It was more of a stick man with little straw daisies coming out the head. But she made it look fabulous. And then I literally did the whole of the inside on pages. And you can just draft it, edit it, play around. And then the amazing thing about Kindle Direct Publishing is that you can separate it, so you put your cover in one section, your interior in another, you can preview it before you press publish essentially. And then they basically, so for every copy that you sell, they take money for the printing to make it look like this, actually, for the distribution, so they post it for you, and obviously for the advertising on Amazon as well. But it means that you're never out of pocket. You still make some money off the books, but for me it's not about the money. It's about putting my stuff out there and making a difference. So I couldn't care if I earned 99p, I couldn't care if I sold 2 copies. It was just about putting my stuff out there. Kindle Direct Publishing is an amazing way to go because it's making things like this accessible to creatives that otherwise wouldn't have the funds to do it.
What pushed you like over the edge from being just like, I've wrote all this, I really want to publish it, and then you kind of sit back and you see, it's like when you write something, like when you're writing a play, you write a play and then it will just sit there and you'll go, oh, I'd love that to be like on stage, and then you wouldn't go any further because you don't have that. What was that thing that just pulled you over that you went, right, let's do this kind of thing? Was it a certain thing or was it just you?
I think there was like a series of things that happened. So people that went to the same drama school, Suzanne, the voice teacher, God, I love that woman. So we call her Suzanne the Swan. She's American and the most chill human you'll ever meet in your life. And she's like 5 foot tall and just the embodiment of Zen. Like, just love that woman, an icon. And she did a spoken poetry event and demanded I went. And I was like, I'm not going. Literally doing it. I was poorly. I was like, I'm not speaking my stuff out loud. She knew I wrote poetry. One of our assessments was like to write poetry for a thing, and I wrote mine the night before, because she did. And she was like, what the hell? Like, you did not write this note before. And I was like, I'm not going to lie, I finished work at 11, I wrote it, came in, that's what happened. And she kind of gave me the push to keep at it. And then I spoke my stuff out loud for the first time. I spoke really fast because I'm a Midlander, and I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. And nobody probably understood what I was on about. But the feedback I got was really positive, and I was like, oh, okay, like, people actually resonate with what I say. And then I was putting more poetry in like captions on Instagram, and people were feeding back to it and being like, you need to write more of this, like, I really like what you're doing, like, do you have a space where you publish it? And I was like, no. And they were like, oh. So that was like another little nugget. And then I just push it aside because I've got other things going on. And then I went travelling, and then I met like a few incredible people at a yoga studio called the Yoga Barn, and these people that are like changing lives on the daily in their own way, off their own back. And it was just, I mean, if you ever get the chance to go to Bali, do it. It's incredible. It's like this little island of magic that I can't explain. Like, I don't think I'll ever top it. Like, I'm a massive traveller. My aim is to do 30 countries before I'm 30. I'm on 20 at the moment, so I'm doing well. I've got 7 years to go. Yeah, wow, and absolutely. And you just got all these people that are just going for it. They don't question it. Like, if you were like, I want to shave my head and tattoo the whole of the lyrics of Mamma Mia onto it, they'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing, like, do it, why not? And you're like, actually, you can, and we're just told that we can't because it's scary or it's out of the comfort zone. And so that kind of contributed to it as well. And then I'd like drafted it into something, and my friend helped me make the cover, and I was like, I might just make it for myself and just publish a few little copies to my family and be like, look what I did, Mom. I found it like, and also through the course of like 3 years of me being at drama school, it was really nice because people came to me for help. And it was so nice to think that I used to be that person that needed help, and now I can offer help to others, and that was just such a gift, like, to be able to do that, and that people would trust me in doing that. So that was another thing that kind of was niggling away. And then I moved to London, and I was like, right, new me, new start, let's go. Audition season is really dry at the moment for any actors that are out there. It's hard. And I was like, I need to fill my time. And so I pushed more and more with the book. And then I was like, I keep putting it off, and I keep putting it off. And I knew that World Mental Health Day was coming up. And I was like, right, okay, set yourself a date, you've got nothing to lose. So I did it like to myself, but didn't announce it. And then, this is the like awkward bit, but you know, it happens. So the guy that had been playing the mind games for like 6 months, I found out I had a new girlfriend, and it just really wound me up. And I was like, fuck you. And then that was kind of like, do you know what? I'll show you what you're missing, because look at me, I'm doing this. And so then I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to publish it. And so I announced it. Like, despite all these amazing things that should have been the trigger, it was the fact that a guy just really annoyed me, that I was like, nah, I'm not having that. I'm not having you acting like you're living your best life. And actually I am. Yeah. Hello. Like, so I'm going to prove you wrong. So, I'm not going to lie, but that's probably the final thing that just tips me over. But I'm a girl. It happened. Yeah, so that's probably the final thing. But lots of other little, I think it was like a series of things that gave me the confidence, like people around me that inspire me, places I've been, and also being in a position where I've got the time to like invest in it and do it properly. And then since then it's just like cannonballed out of nowhere and I don't really know what to do with myself. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
We spoke about this before, but the meaning behind your title, I think it'd be interesting for other people to know.
Okay. So I'm an empath. I don't know if anyone knows what that means, but I sob at every movie that's ever on. If someone cries, I cry at them. I really care about how other people feel a lot, and sometimes it can wear me out because I just want to help everyone and I want to solve everyone, because I've been at that absolute pit of low, and I don't want anyone to ever feel like that ever. Like if I can literally throw myself in front of the pit to stop them from dropping into it, I will. And I always used to think that because I cared so much and I couldn't understand why other people didn't care. And that used to really bother me a lot, because I was like, well, I care so much and they don't, or like, I would go out of my way for this person, but they would never do it for me. And my mum always used to be like, but people aren't like you. And I was like, it's just mum saying it, like, you know what I mean? When your mum's like, you're beautiful, and you're like a troll, do you know what I mean? Shut up, Helen. I love her, she's an icon. I love you, Helen, I'm sorry. It became like a play of words. I was like, I feel like it's a curse to feel so deeply. And so that's kind of the essence of it, curse to feel, because it's a curse to like, it's a blessing but a curse. Like you feel so deeply and it's really hard, but then it's also something you've been gifted to feel so deeply in order for you to connect with so many people and change so many people's lives is my plan. So that's the essence behind the title. Yeah, and it also just sounds a bit cool, doesn't it? Quite like it. Yeah?
What was like the hardest and also the most fun part of like the whole process of writing the book?
Ooh. The most fun was me sending these little doodles to my friend in America and being like, this is what I want. And like when I said the doodles were awful, I can't draw at all. Like it was genuinely a stick man head and some little flowers sticking off and some leaves. And I literally annotated it saying, leaf, flower. It's awful. And she's incredible, like she's so talented. Like there's actually like a whole feature page for this goddess of human. So follow her on Instagram because she's incredible. So like going back and forth and like playing around with colours, and like we wanted I wanted the background to be dark because that's where like the whole like curse to feel is. But then I think from feeling all these emotions comes this like rainbow of like excitement and amazing things that can come from that. So I wanted it to almost be an oxymoron in the sense that despite the fact that you can feel absolutely crap, there's amazing things that can come out from it. And sometimes, for me anyway, I know I tend to hit rock bottom and then I bounce back and I completely rebirth. And I've got all these ideas, and I don't think you have to hit rock bottom every time, but I think sometimes going through the hard stuff is what gets you to this really good stuff. And like, I always think if it was easy, everyone would do it, and that I apply that to everything in life. So relationships is something where you really open yourself up to someone, and it's vulnerable. So writing about that in an honest way is hard, I guess. And I also didn't want to be that person that like they're subtly savage, but they're not like, oh, get lost, you're a loser, because I actually did really like that person at one point. So it's finding the balance of that, which made it hard, because at the time you're like, oh, I'm so angry. Yeah.
I was wondering, did you write anything that wasn't inspired by your own life? So something that maybe you saw someone else experience, or you just completely made it up?
Oh, that's a good one. One of my poems actually in there is about abortion. I've not personally been through that, but a couple of my close friends have. So that's something I wrote through their experience on my own. A couple of the poems in there are inspired by, I guess, things that happen in life rather than things I've personally experienced. But just topics that I'm really passionate about, or something that's like inspired me out of nowhere, and then like the people around me as well. Yeah.
How did you find the process of like writing the book like affected you or like changed you? So, like either through the process of like writing the poetry, obviously, or through the process of like putting it together. the intention of it being a book. I just wrote it to get it out. Because I'm an insomniac, so if I don't write stuff down, my brain is like a million miles an hour. It does not stop. And I drink a ton of coffee, which does not help, but I love it and I'm not going to stop. And so it was a way for me to just get it on paper and just be like, let that one go. Boom, next. Like, and literally my phone used to be like, the notes section used to just be full of little things like, oh, like I saw a cute dog on a train, or it'd be like something someone said to me that day, or like something that happened that then was like, that kind of taught me that actually writing things down really helps. And like there's something behind the whole journal thing, and like a journal doesn't have to be, dear diary, today I had breakfast at 8 AM and then I saw my mum and then I went to work and then this made me sad but this was funny. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be like, oh, I read this, it really made me laugh. Or today on my commute in there was a guy with a trumpet. I was loving it, like literally living my best life. I didn't have any change and I'm really sad and sorry for that guy. But he was great, literally playing his trumpet going down the tube, loved it. Or a picture, or like I've got like a one line a day. I don't know if anyone does that. I love one line a day because I get into bed and you just have to write one thing that like made you laugh or was like, I fill it with positive stuff because that's what I want to look back on. And it's, you do it for 5 years, so then every time you come back to it, you'll see what happened that time last year. And so it's really funny because I started mine when I first started drama school, so there's some weird stuff in there. Like, honestly, like I did it the other day, it's like, gave birth to my song today. I was like, oh, I remember that, good, awkward. Or like, just silly things that you forget about. And then you flip through and you're like, oh, that was so much fun, or oh, I remember that, or that made me laugh really hard. So it taught me how powerful writing and words are. Reading back poems, because half the time I would write them and never look at them again. As I said, I didn't plan this, it just kind of happened. Reading back, I was like, wow. And like, I think you can tell in parts of the book as well that you can tell like what point I was in my life when I wrote each one. And sometimes looking back, it's nice to see how far you've come. Cliche again, but it's one of those, isn't it? Really bad at like patting myself on the back and being like, actually, like, because I always feel like I achieve one thing and I'm like, okay, I need to achieve this, and then I need to do this, and then I need to do that, and it's like I never actually get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm really proud of myself, like I actually did that. And we're not encouraged to say that either. We're never encouraged to say, well done you, or you're seen as narcissistic or like self-obsessed to be like, I actually did this and it's really good. And that's something I'm working on. I'm not very good at that at all, I'll be honest. Reading back through the poems and pressing publish made me be like, I've actually done that, and I never thought I would. I never thought I'd write my feelings on paper. I never thought I'd be able to talk to other people about what I've been through, because I'm very much like a book, open book, but with certain chapters glued together. You just don't see those bits, and I'm just this version of Chelsea rather than like this version. So I think that taught me a lot about like you can be both, and people can love both. You don't have to be this like showreel version of yourself. You can be the little like broken bits as well, because actually you're human and everyone's broken really in their own way. I think that's what that taught me in a really deep emotional way. And it also taught me that I love to write and I love to hear people's stories. I love to talk about people's stories. Just love to talk really, to be honest. Yeah.
Can we open these now?
Yeah, you can open them. They're just little cards. I handwrote for myself. My handwriting's awful, I'm so sorry. Yeah, well, shall we give Chelsea a final round of applause?